This is Isa, the Sri Lankan advanced level calisthenics athlete. In this video, he will share his secrets so you too can learn crazy skills like the one-arm pull-up, planche, handstand push-up, 90-degree handstand push-up, and so much more. So sit back and enjoy the full interview. We don't want to keep these people waiting, so let's get straight into it. The first question is calisthenics the best training style?
Yeah, it is the most effective training systems out there because it's cheap, and then you're using your own body weight, and then it's functional, and it's one of the ancient training system, old school type training system. It translates to basically real life situations. So I would say calisthenics is one of the most effective training system out there, but not universally the best, but it's an effective training system. So it depends on how you apply it to your specific field, your sport or whatever. It depends on the application, on the individual itself.
Like choosing your training style based on your individual goal, right? I've heard this saying several times. If you want to planche, you have to hold the planche.
Yes, you have to be specific to your goals. So mimicking movements, mimicking your training system specific to your end goal is the best training system out there for you, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. How long should you train to reach a good level in calisthenics?
It basically depends on the individual, Pavith. So if the individual, he has past experience, if he has good physical background, of course, I would say generally for an average person, if he undergoes through a proper training regimen, a proper strict program or something like that, he would reach like around like nearly 5 years, 3 to 5 years, let's say.
Like you can do a planche and handstand push-ups, 90-degree handstand push-ups, one-arm pull-ups. So how long did it take for you to train to reach this level? How long have you been training to like reach this level?
So I had experience in sports like swimming, karate, and I did a lot of ground training, groundwork. So I had no idea of what I was doing. It was just a basic like home workout routine. I didn't like have proper understanding of what I do. Then later on, I developed interest on improving myself over time. So I would say I started to train properly from like maybe 2016ish, but I had training experience in before. Even I trained at a gym. I did some for 2 years during my A-level time. I did the regular gym workout, and then from there I transitioned to calisthenics, and then from calisthenics I started like on my 2015ish, 2016ish, but I go way back before 2012. I have been training for like more than a decade.
2012 I was 11 years old. Okay.
I'm an ancient dinosaur.
Like what you accumulate in your smaller ages, it translates very well to your fitness when you grow up,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Okay, next one is a very interesting question. What do you think about the calisthenics community in Sri Lanka?
The calisthenics community in Sri Lanka, they are just started. They are still in the development phase, and then there are some good athletes out there. They are not getting good recognition and all the stuff from the community, but I believe these guys deserve much more. They are mostly influenced with the Western European type training system, which is like the competition based, freestyle based. I am mostly influenced with the old school training system just to physically build yourself to get stronger.
Got it. Yeah. So do you have any plans of competing ever?
No, I wouldn't enter the competition because one is it's not practical, and then the other thing is I am mostly focused on improving myself as an individual. Competition is basically a time frame where you have to perform. You have to be basically stronger, faster, basically on the guidelines of the competition on that time frame.
It does not align with your goal, according to you, right? For the Sri Lankans, the Sri Lankan community, I feel there are people who can go and actually win these competitions, like especially the World Calisthenics competition that is in Latvia, in Riga. And ultimately, who knows, maybe these athletes could be sponsored in future events. There are a lot of Indians who compete and end up winning. And I feel the Sri Lankans, they have the equal opportunity because there are so many talented guys.
It's just that the pathway, the foundation, and this thing is not set up. If these guys are given proper opportunity and properly guided, these guys can definitely. These guys have that drive to get there. I hope it turns out, inshallah. I hope it turns out that way.
An interesting question: what motivates you to train?
So me, I'd like to get stronger to protect myself from injuries, and as a martial artist to be resistant and to deal and endure damage and to inflict damage, and even in life to build that physical and mental toughness to endure things, to preserve my youthfulness for years to come and to be independent.
Yeah, this style of training, you see a lot of older people also doing it. Actually, it maintains that youthfulness.
Now, so I just want to see my future self do certain things, what my current self, like right here, like I see my future self doing attaining certain skills, certain feats of strength. So it's always about accumulating this training and getting stronger in every possible way you can grow.
Around that time we can have another interview like this. What was your initial motivation? You have told me before that watching anime as a kid and all, that was a big influence for you.
I watched anime as a kid. That's how I was influenced by, I believe, some martial arts movies and mostly Dragon Ball Z. So that's how I had interest into training martial arts and get physically strong. So initially as a kid, you look up to heroes, and then you like that physique, and then that drive and that motive of the characters, the role model, fictional role model. So basically that drive was instilled on me when I was a kid. As I grow older, what I said before is now my current motive to get stronger.
Because you see a lot of this type of training in anime, right? You see this doing handstand push-ups and all that.
Yeah, because when we did martial arts, so we used to do, basically in martial arts, we do body weight conditioning, we do knuckle dips and freeze squats, and then we do squats with kicks, jumping squats. And then I saw this episode where Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber, where he trains on on the capsule corp, the capsule corp, to train to beat Frieza. So he does handstand push-ups, and then he does this ab crunchers, where he suspends his leg, and one arm push-up, and one arm push-up. So those movements, we didn't know it was calisthenics. We just did those stuff because that inspired us to take up calisthenics.
So the next question is, what is your opinion on using weights to train for calisthenics? Are weights needed to progress in calisthenics, or do you think it's just supplementary, it helps with calisthenics?
It's not entirely needed, because personally for me, even to build my legs, I just plainly stick with just calisthenics, not weighted calisthenics. But it is not, don't take, what I'd say is, don't take an unnecessary long path to get to your goals. Don't strictly be a purist, like you said, the purist mindset that you should be in this frame. If there's any training system that can help you get results faster, I advise you to take it up. Coming back to the question, you don't need weighted calisthenics to integrate weights to your calisthenic training system to progress. There are a lot of other innovative methods. So for me personally, my one arm pull up, one arm push up, archer dips and all these exercises I attained without ingraining weighted calisthenics in my training program.
Purely using bodyweight progressions, right? So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I do bodyweight progression, yes. It's just that for legs I just ingrain weighted calisthenics because I can use pure body weights and be a purist and build legs, but that's going to be an unnecessary long time. It is possible. I am telling it's possible because if you have that limitation that you cannot access weights and all those stuff, then there is no excuse. You could build your legs with calisthenics, and in the same time I advise you take whatever you ingrain, whatever is approachable, what is what will get to your goals faster.
So big problem that people come into when training is hitting plateaus, right? When it comes to this training for skills and all, a lot of people hit plateaus. So what is your view, and what would you do to overcome a plateau?
Yeah, so I would review my training system. So when I review my training system, I basically make an assessment on my plateau. So I would say for a beginners, of course, they would see rapid progressions, but once when you become an advanced athlete, to take the next step, it's going to be very hard than the previous steps to progress. So that is natural. So basically you have to review your training, and then you have to check your goals. Like if you have certain goals, and you have to see whether your work is specific to your goals, whether it's in line to your goals, and then you can make adjustments to your, basically it depends on your workout program, the workflow you follow to get to your goals.
So actually that's the next question that I wanted to ask. It's how do you prevent injuries from happening?
Yeah, so injuries basically happens when in my experience, if you're less cautious, so the less cautious you are, the more proportional you could get injuries. You should properly assess yourself. If you can't assess yourself properly, and if you do something what you can't, then of course you could get injured. One thing, if you're very careless, and then the other thing is you should give yourself enough rest. Rest is the priority, because your body is not a machine. Even machine, it needs frequent maintenance and inspection, and it needs maintenance. So your body needs rest to recover. Yeah, so for example, like the most prone injury for the one arm pull up is the elbow tendonitis. Yeah, the tennis and the both golfers elbow. What I personally did was I ingrained certain methods from circus training and climbers training system. That's how I worked around, like conditioning myself. I basically drill, basically the reps and sets, I just do exercise that mimics the one arm pull up, but it's not the one arm. So inferior, less intimidating training, which is like a step progression, less progressions of the one arm pull up, like mixed grip and then circular rope climbs and all those stuff, which also like mimics the one arm pull up. Once when you have a training system like that, you naturally it's more natural for you to get the one arm pull up. So for me, one arm pull up is like very second in nature. It's very natural for me. I have accumulated lot of one arm pull ups that I have no count of how many, like both arm pull ups I have not it's not very natural for me. It's just the one arm pull up. Yeah, I built myself to a point that is like my baseline.
One more question I have is about the training frequency. How long you train for? Is it 1 hour, 2 hours, 1.5 hours?
So in my training program, I train like around 4 to 5 days per week. Yeah, I would say 4 to 5 days per week, and then on rest days I do some mobility routine or do certain test movements. so on my rest days, so it's not like an entire, it's like an active rest day. Let's say I start at around like maybe 5:45 ish. By 7, maybe like 1.5 hours time. 1.5 hours time is my duration. It won't go more than 1.5 hours.
So finally, let's wrap up this conversation now, right? We have been talking for a very long time, and I think we talked about so many useful things for all these people. Finally, let's have a take-home message. So, what is a take-home message that you'll give to these people who are watching?
From basically Zen Buddhism, so it says that the man who pushed the mountains is the one who picked up the pebbles, something like that. If you see someone doing something very phenomenal, very like mind-blowing, it's the guy who did the basic thing. So I started with like basic, like when I was a kid I started with like basic push-ups, crunches and squats, and then over time I just accumulated strength, and like I just grew with my training system. That's it, just plain simple.
That was the final question that we had to ask. My eyes are hurting from looking at the screen for a long time, maybe for you also. I have my ring light in front of me also, it's a bit hard for my eyes. So hope everyone watching this actually learned something of value. And we'll see you guys in the next video, and make sure you wait, I'll actually get you to tell that.
So hit like, subscribe and comment below, and if you all have any questions you all have to project towards me, you can drop it to Pavith, and then we'll have another session where ask Isa anything kind of session.
Okay, we'll wrap it up from here.